Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Marion County Espresso TV. I'm your host, Steve Woodhouse, and joining me today is Rob Bandstra with the Commission on Veterans Affairs for Marion County. Rob's going to kind of take the lead on this one because we're talking about Veterans Day and what veterans have meant to not only our country, but obviously Marion County, and how we're able to help those folks and how we're going to honor their sacrifices. So thank you, Rob.
Mm-hmm. Well, welcome to the Veterans Affairs Office in Marion County here in the courthouse on the first floor. You probably came through the rotunda and you saw evidence of democracy in action. The last couple of weeks we've been really busy in the courthouse with the voting that's going on. And there's a lot of people that thank a veteran for their service. But what I would like to share with your audience is the best way to thank a veteran for their service is to exercise your right to vote that they gave to you. Veterans Day itself, marked on November 11, is a significant point in history. The original Veterans Day, Armistice Day, occurred at the end of World War I when the ceasefire began on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. So it was Armistice Day for a while. Eventually our government declared it as Veterans Day, that we all as Americans celebrate today, whether it's veterans or not. But for our veterans in Marion County and across the country, it's really Veterans Week, or a couple of weeks. We're now, 10 days away from Veterans Day itself, and there's already preparations underway. This weekend, November 3 at 1:30 in the afternoon at Pella Oakwood Cemetery, we're going to put up the Avenue of Flags. And the Pella Legion does that for Memorial Day, the 4th of July, Veterans Day, and we put up the flags there for a colorful celebration of patriotic holidays. So if any veterans are out there, or any family members of veterans, or the public wants to come and help us do that, we'd be honored if you would assist us and honor a veteran with raising those flags that are there. That's this Sunday. On November 3rd already. On November 7th, here in Knoxville, they're doing the same thing at Graceland Cemetery on the west side of town. That begins at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they have hundreds of flags that line the avenues of Graceland Cemetery. And there are tons of vets that are buried there. So those events start long before the holiday. On Veterans Day itself, on Monday, a national holiday, everything's closed, but the veterans are going to be on parade, if you will. In, the morning in Pella, Jefferson Elementary School fills their auditorium every single year with a Veterans Day tribute.
That's always a great ceremony. I've been to a few of them.
And those fifth graders there, they sing their heart out for their veterans, and always a popular event there in Pella. I'll bounce around a little bit here. That same morning in Knoxville, they'll be doing a ceremony at Westridge. And at Westridge, they'll honor the veterans that are there. Since we no longer have a VA hospital, then a lot of our veterans are at Westridge, some of our older ones. Then in the afternoon, back in Pella, we have what has become an annual event at Pella Christian Grade School at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's where Pella Legion members take the fifth graders out of Pella Christian School and march them down Liberty Street to Fairhaven East where we have a World War II memorial. So you'd be welcome to attend that. The public's welcome to attend that as well. When we honor the veterans at Fairhaven East, as well as the Pella community. So it's a busy day on parade for the veterans who are pulling that together. And you might ask, why the fifth graders? Why are they so special? And those fifth graders are the ones that write the flag essays for the American Legion Flag Essay Contest. And they do a fantastic job of that every year. They're at the perfect age to learn about our country and our flag. And there's no better way to do that than for them to sit down and talk to a veteran.
Absolutely. And you know, have you read many of the essays over the years?
Oh, I've judged tons of them.
Yeah, those are some pretty talented kids writing those out, and they seem to have a good understanding of, you know, what veterans have done for our country, and I'm sure that'll continue. And obviously, like you said, these things are open to the public to come and check out. And is Hy-Vee doing the Veterans Breakfast again? Are you aware of?
They sure are. You know, I have to tip my hat to a lot of local companies that offer Veterans Day specials, whether it's Pella Historical Museum, whether it's Anytime Fitness. Hy-Vee in particular is a very popular free breakfast. And it's so popular here in Knoxville that they've outgrown the Hy-Vee, and they actually hold it at the Armory, where there's a lot more room for veterans there.
And a quick history lesson for folks, that tradition actually began here in Knoxville. It was the late Don Zoot, the former mayor here and a longtime veterans advocate. He kind of worked with former Hy-Vee manager, I believe his name was Jeff Killam, and kind of set that up. And from there, you know, Hy-Vee as a corporation latched onto it and grew it. And obviously, you know, it's been a great thing, great way to salute our veterans.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see those veterans there year after year after year. So after Veterans Day itself on the 11th, I know that Peary School, again, they're fifth graders, but their whole school entertains veterans with a special program at noon on Tuesday, the day after. Pella Christian High School has a chapel ceremony that's dedicated to veterans, and all veterans are invited to attend that. That's at 9:45 on Friday. After Veterans Day. So that's the 15th of the month. So after Veterans Week, then all of those flags need to come down again. And I know if you are in contact with a local Legion member, we'd be happy to get your help in folding up those flags and securing them for the winter until we can put them back out in Memorial Day.
And I was just texting Junior Wadley before we went on the air here. Melcher Dallas, they're going to have a ceremony November 8th at the new gymnasium at Melcher Dallas High School. A reception starts at 8:15 and the program starts at 9:15 to salute veterans in that part of the county. And that's another, I've been to a lot of these programs over the years, and that's another nice program. You know, and there's still plenty of veterans down there in Melcher Dallas. And I know that, you know, we're known, you know, as a veterans county because of the VA hospital here all those years. How big is our veterans population here in Marion County these days?
Well, it's really hard for me to put my thumb on an exact number. You know, our demographics for the county is we have 63,000 people in Marion County. I think our standard percentage is about 18% of those will be veterans. Now, I can tell you all of the veterans, you know, that have applied for tax exemptions. I can tell you the veterans with veterans on their license plate, those numbers. But there's not really a definitive list of how many veterans we have. But as I look around the courthouse, as I look around, you know, just the square in Knoxville, I recognize multiple veterans that they don't show it on the outside, but they served, and they served their country honorably. And I wish I had a better number to give you, Steve, because I'd reach out to every single one of them and ask them to come in and have a conversation about their benefits.
Mm-hmm. And I know you're active in the Legion in Pella, or you were. I apologize if you still are. Are you still involved?
Still am.
I know here in the Legions on this side of the river, and I've seen that in Pella as well, it's tougher to get the younger generation, the younger veterans involved. Is that still the case, and how have you guys worked on, involving our younger veterans to keep those organizations going?
Yeah, it is a constant challenge, and it's not only for the veteran service organizations like the Legion and the VFW, but I think it's across the board with JCs and Kiwanis, Lions Club, and all of those. They have graying populations. One thing the Pella American Legion has done recently is established a riders group. And that is your motorcycle riders, not necessarily Harley Davidson, but any 2- or 3-wheeled conveyance that you want to ride. You can do so as a member of the Legion, or eligibility is for the sons of the American Legion, or the auxiliary, or the daughters of the American Legion members as well. So that's one thing we do. Another thing that I do in the office here is every single service member from Marion County that is leaving the service, I get their name and address, and I send them a postcard, and I ask them to come on in to sit down and bring in their discharge documents to the courthouse and get them registered, where they'll always be there for safekeeping. But also, I give them a free T-shirt here with the DD 214 alumni on it as their reward for coming in. They'll know what this inside joke is all about, and then we'll have a conversation about their veterans benefits that they've deserved. So we try to do a lot of outreach. So remind me to give you a chip clip and a fly swatter on the way out.
Always get the free swag when you come in and sign up for your veterans benefits.
And the free flag and the candy dish is one of the essential services that I provide to the public outside of my door at the courthouse.
And so, what hours are you here? I know you're here every day, right, Rob? So what hours are you here?
Yep. So my hours here in the courthouse are 8 to 4:30. You're for sure going to catch me here, or it's a full-time job, Monday through Friday, but I do house calls. So if we have a veteran who's fallen and broken a hip and they need their benefits, I will meet with that veteran in their home or the nursing home or wherever they may be to make sure that they get the benefits that they've been entitled to. So it's always a good idea to call me first, 828-2201, to confirm that I'm in the office and will be there before Pella folks come across the river, or they drive all the way from Bussy or whenever.
And you said exercising your right to vote is the best way to thank a veteran for their service. And I know many people have already done that. Last time I talked to Auditor Grandy, it was well over 5,000 had already voted, and I'm sure that's much higher now. But as far as if you see a service member, in their fatigues, or if you see a guy wearing a World War II veteran hat, is it awkward for them if you go up and say, "Hey, thank you for your service," and shake their hand?
It can be. It can be. Our generation of veterans represents a small percentage of the population. And, like my father, for instance, he was a veteran. And he said, yeah, I did my bit. I did my duty. I did what my country asked me to do. And then I moved on with my life. And a lot of our veterans now have moved on with their life after they hung up the uniform. But whether they feel awkward about it or not, I appreciate when a citizen approaches and recognizes me as a veteran and says thank you and acknowledges my service. no matter if that was, a great contribution or a small one. Just the pat on the back is sufficient for most people.
And of course, we can't thank veterans enough, but we also need to thank the families of the veterans that that gave their lives in service of our country and for our freedom, and they can be hard to identify. So, do you think it's just a good idea, to take advantage of these opportunities going on around the county, on and around Veterans Day, to just basically say, hey, we appreciate what you do?
Yeah. Veterans Day is for the veterans that have served and that are living.
Yes.
We have another holiday, that Memorial Day, for those veterans that have served and given their life. But whether they are alive or they're deceased, their families have sacrificed as well. And some of the people that we see at our Veterans Day ceremonies, our Memorial Day ceremonies, are not the veterans who are honoring their colleagues, but it's the family members to the second and third generation that are honoring their veterans, and we appreciate them.
Is there anything more you want to share about Veterans Day, or how we can show our appreciation?
No, just our country takes good care of our veterans. And there's some veterans that are out there that are struggling with their service, and the first thing that we need to do is recognize them as a veteran, and thank them for their service. But after that, long after they hang up their uniform, our country is there with the health care. Like we have out here at the Knoxville clinic, VA clinic, and in Des Moines. Our country can offer that. And our country can take care of some of those with disabilities and special needs as well, as related to their service. And that's my role here, is to take Marion County veterans and plug them in to the entitlements and the services that they've deserved and that they've earned.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing all that, Rob, and thank you all for joining us.